Hey everyone, I've had a lot of questions about how to actually calculate multi-channel fulfillment fees. What this is used for is specifically if you have sold something on a sales channel that is not Amazon, but you're having Amazon fulfill it. Most common example would be if you sell on your Shopify store and then you have Shopify send that order information to Amazon to fulfill. This is how you calculate the fees that Amazon will charge you for shipment. You may still have transaction fees through Shopify. This is what Amazon will charge you for actually fulfilling that item. I'm going to include these websites in the description. Big caveat here, this information does change, so go and actually check this information. I'm going to show you how to calculate it, but the values themselves may change. So what you're going to do is we have really three sections here that matter. If you're selling media, that'd be things like DVDs, books. Then you're going to use this media section. Non-media is basically everything else. And oversize is for very large or very heavy products. We'll go into how you figure out how you calculate that as well. So let's take a look at non-media. Your order handling is going to vary based on shipping method. Minimum is going to be $4.75. Pick and pack fee, that's pretty much fixed. That's 75 cents. That is just basically paying for the warehouse worker to go and grab that product and take it off the shelf and stick it into a box. Weight handling fee, that's going to be a per pound fee, and it can go up as the weight goes up. Again, we'll get into those details. Storage fees, these vary based on the time of year. You can see November and December are way more expensive because Amazon is way more busy in those months. As long as you're not keeping too much inventory in an Amazon warehouse, you're not going to really pay much in storage fees. If you're sending stuff in and it's sitting for 4, 5, 6 months, then you need to look into minimizing your storage fees and also specifically avoiding long-term storage fees, which hit if you've had inventory in a warehouse for longer than 6 months. That's something to look up, long-term storage fees. But as long as you're moving product, you're not going to run into those. So there's a few different pages that we can look at. I'm going to come over here to another example of where they break out their fees. I suspect this is a slightly older page, but the information is all still there. A little more spelled out though. So again, we're looking here at standard size non-media. And before I get into the nitty gritty, I went ahead and created a calculator that you can use to calculate the shipping cost for basically essentially any product out there. We'll use Amazon's example here. So 5.6 inches by 4.9 inches by 0.4 inches, and the weight is 0.3 pounds. Shipping fee is $5.95. Checks out. You can use this for calculating just about anything. The exception is special oversize items, which are things like refrigerators or pool tables. And if you're shipping stuff like that through Amazon, you really need to be working with an expert anyway. But if it is special oversize, you'll just see this little warning saying, go check out the additional costs. I've got the URL there for you. But since we're operating mostly with smaller items, it can calculate small standard size, large standard size, small oversize, medium oversize, large oversize. It's just the special oversize that's a problem. If you don't want to learn any of the details about how this is calculated, if you want to just trust this calculator, I've tested it extensively. This is a free download. The link is in the description. Go grab it. Stop watching the video. Don't waste your time. If you want to actually know how these calculations work, I'm going to go through them. I'll try to be quick, but this stuff is fairly complicated. Some of these formulas are some of the longest I've ever written, and I'm an old Excel jockey, so they're fairly complex, but let's give it a shot. Okay, so let's start with product size tier. You can see we've got standard size here, and then also oversize. Yet another website for calculating Product size, standard versus oversize. If it's 20 pounds or less, if its longest side is 18 inches or less, medium size is 14 inches or less, and its shortest side is 8 inches or less, then your product is standard size. Otherwise, it's oversize. This chart shows the maximum values. So if it's under 15 inches on the longest, 12 on the median, 0.75 inches on the shortest side, that's very small. And depending on if it's media, if it's 14 ounces or less, if it's non-media, if it's 12 ounces or less, then it's small standard size. That's a lot of criteria. You can do the same math through all of these. Length plus girth, that comes in as the longest side plus 2 times the median side plus 2 times the shortest side. So basically it's the length of the package plus the length around kind of the shortest dimension. So again, you can see this stuff gets pretty complex pretty quick. So now we'll take a look at the actual fees. So for standard size non-media, the order handling is per order. So if you have several items in the order, then you only have the one order handling fee. That's going to be dependent, the price is dependent on your shipping method. You can see it gets much more expensive the faster you ship. Standard, in my experience, is about a week-long shipping. Expedited is Amazon's 2-day shipping, and priority is next day shipping. Very reliable. It's Amazon. You get what you expect. Media, same breakdown except cheaper, except for priority and expedited are fairly similar. Oversize, same kind of breakdown. Pick and pack is standard based on the size. So standard size media, we'll go back to the beginning. Pick and pack is 60 cents. Non-media, 75 cents. Oversize, $3. Weight handling is where it gets fun and where it was really fun to code in the Excel spreadsheet. For the first 15 pounds, it's 40, depending on the shipping method, but we'll say standard shipping, it's 45 cents per pound. Actually, let's use expedited. It's 55 cents per pound. So if you have 7 pounds, you take 7 times 55 cents. For the next 16 to 70 pounds, each one of those is 70 cents per pound. So you would take 15 times 55 cents for that first 15, and then let's say it's a 30-pound package, you would take 15 times 0.7, add those together, and you get your weight handling. Same thing if it's over 71 to all the way up to 150 pounds, at which point it would become oversized. So sort of complex, but it sort of makes sense. So, there's examples in here if you want to test your math on some of your products. Each of these categories does have examples. And you can also test against my math. So I'm going to do that again just to show that this does work for several different scenarios. So for media, it's not media. I'm going to do the solar panel. Shipping speed, we're doing priority shipping. So priority. The length is 61 inches. The width is 29. And the height is 2.8. If you mix some of these up, these do not have to be in descending order. The calculator is smart enough to figure that out. So if I go 2.8 and 29, it's going to get the same value. Product weight, 31.75 pounds. Okay, and that gives us $77.50. Okay, so your order handling fee is $17. It's high because it is priority shipping. The pick and pack fee, oversized, is pretty much flat, $3. The weight handling, this is where it really gets fun. The unit weight is 31.75. Then they apply a dunnage rate of 10%. That covers like the packaging and the air, the air pillows and all that stuff to keep it safe. And then you round up to the next value. So your outbound weight is 35 pounds. So it's $1.50 per pound for the first 15 pounds. Then $1.75 pounds or $1.75 per pound for the remaining 21 pounds. Gives you a total weight handling fee of $57.50. Fun stuff. So obviously, if you're shipping oversized products, it is a little more expensive. Again, if you want to know this stuff, that's great. I very much encourage people to understand what is going into their fees. If you don't care about the details, just use the calculator. When you go to download this, there will be an option to include your email. So as the fees change, because they do change over time, I'll update the calculator and I'll just shoot out a note saying, hey, here's the link to the updated calculator, just so that you're not using out-of-date information. But this way, hopefully, you can figure out how to actually, how much to actually charge when you're going to charge shipping on Shopify or on another sales channel. So, as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I do respond to all of them. Sometimes I take a little while to respond, but I do go in and respond to any questions that you might have. So, leave any questions in the comments. Let me know if there's any topics that you'd like to see covered. And until then, happy selling.